What's up guys, Ronaldo here and welcome. And today I want to go over with you guys, if you pick the Lyra Banner, if you're gonna pull on the Lyra Banner, which kind of heroes do you want to pair with her on that banner, right? Which kind of heroes do you want to pair with her? Which are the most valuable options going to be for your account? And for that I have the tier list that is gonna help me out here, that I did a video on, of course, and also you can see the tier list if you ever wonder, if you ever want to check it out. It is also in the Discord. Now I have this tier list here, and according to this you can already kind of see the priorities here on the units that you want. I think Eloin is by far, right, by far the highest priority unit. If you do not have an Eloin, there is no debate. No matter what you're lacking, you still want to get that Eloin, because there is no replacement for her. There is no replacement for her. And then afterwards you have the likes of Silas, Hotsut, Constance even. Big fan of the Constance. I think Constance is very strong. She has great factions, Watcher and Arbiter. Watcher's getting stronger and stronger with the Wukong as well, with Lucius, Kigiri and so forth. Ingrid being super powerful. Super good unit also in Praetor's teams, of course. For Praetor's teams, amazing to have as well, for anyone who just got the Praetor's. And then we have, I think, Arrogance, Zardis, and then we have someone like a Comet or even a Vierna, right? You have a Vierna to get your bond skill for your Silas. You have a Hex who is very, very strong as well. Boreas, I would personally not choose. I think he's very strong, don't get me wrong. I do believe though that his PvP use cases, he's not the strongest. He's very strong, right? He's good for Guild Wars, he's good for Arena, but he's not the best. He's not the single best. And same can be said for PvE. As for PvE, you can just use the Comet literally everywhere. And then you could also go for a Boreas. I would say I slightly value Comet and Xaris a bit higher, simply because Comet can deal with Gear Dungeon 1. Xaris can deal with being actually a potent arena threat, and Vierna can also deal with the fact that she is going to be your bond skill for your Silas. Generally speaking though, I would say this is 1 and Hatsud is 2. Why is Hatsud 2? Now she has fallen off quite a bit in terms of PvP arena and so forth since the release of Ingrid and everything. She's still very strong though, and her invisibility is such a unique ability to have. And the reason why I put her in here above Silas and Vierna is nowadays we get more and more units that can deal high single target burst damage, right? Initially you were like, in Void Rift, okay, I really want that Silas. I need that Silas together with the Vierna, and the Silas carries me through Void Rift. Well, nowadays you have a Lucius who can also just one-tap bosses pretty much. You have the likes of a Phineas who can almost one-tap bosses with long enough range for these Void Rift bosses and Epilogue bosses. You have more and more high DPS units, whereas you don't really have new units that have some invisibility, have the ability to be deployed and immediately used. Now, I think Phineas is a valuable option as well. I think Lucius can be an option, but I think it's hard to justify him compared to all of the other options that we were going to have, right? I think Valk is also going to be a nice option to have, but I wouldn't really focus on her, as generally speaking, Valk's main use case also comes from her GVG arena, and also in PvE content. Her big use case comes from for being used in the top corner in Gear Dungeon 1. I have to say though, Gear Dungeon 1 top corner gets more and more competition, and I cannot recommend you to pull for Valk specifically only for Gear Dungeon 1, because Gear Dungeon 1 you can also use a Vierna on the top side, you can also use a Ajax on the top side, and even Ares on the top side when he comes out as well, and Thalen. Now Also, some very strong unit that I cannot recommend at all is Twyla. Twyla is a big X, big no-go. Pharisee is someone that I can recommend though. Twyla is a big X because there is no world that you're gonna summon for Twyla when you could just summon for Wukong, who's gonna be better than her everywhere, literally. She had 1 month to shine, bit more, 2 months to shine, and she's getting power crap. That's the state we're in right now. She is nowhere gonna be more useful as Wukong will be. So she's nowhere gonna be as useful as a Wukong will be. So you rather have your summon saved for Wukong instead of Twyla. Magda is one that is nice to have, but I wouldn't take her. I think she's a nice to have unit, not a must have unit. And then someone who actually brings a lot of value, but is in terms of strength not that high on that list here, is gonna be Valeria, simply because of her epilogue strength, and you still can use her in Gear Dungeon 2. Of course, there's multiple replacements for her there too, but I think mainly because what she brings on epilogue shows something that she can do, and that is hold lanes by herself, simply because she refuses to die, takes out the enemies that are there with her ultimate, and then just dies after the wave is done. Good thing about that is you're mostly in PvE gonna use Virna, so that she will be respawning soon. Next wave comes in, you send her in to die again. Poor lady, honestly, poor lady, but that's just really the plan how you're gonna use her. Other than that, I believe we have basically all the ones covered. Yeah, of course, Constance. Do we have anyone else? Do we have anyone else? You cannot use any limited units. I would say you could also go for... Now, one more unit that I could recommend you guys actually is going to be Artemis, right? If you have basically most of these units above and you don't have an anti-healing unit, Artemis is going to be very valuable. While overall he's just an A tier unit, for the one piece of content that you're going to use him, he's a God tier unit. So for that I can say, if you have the luxury to go for Artemis, Artemis is also one that you could consider. And actually, talking about it, Brokir can also be a okay choice, because Brokir is amazing for Guild Wars and amazing for PvE. Generally speaking, he's a bit lower on my priority list than all of the others mentioned though. Actually, thinking about it, right, for people that weren't able to get Kigiri, Lucius is going to be amazing. So we're going to have a Lucius in here as well. If you do not have Kigiri, Lucius value through the roof, especially if you have a Watcher Lord. And with Wukong also coming to the Watchers, you see these Watchers, they're super menacing. And then I don't really know how Ajax, if Ajax is gonna be in there, and if he's gonna get a raid up, if it's gonna even matter, right? Think about the Ajax. What is your 15x gonna matter? Let's go to the raids here. What is your, like, okay, you have a 15x chance to get Ajax, but you only have a 0.04% chance to get a Lord. And then when you hit that Lord chance, then you have the chance to get the Ajax. So I don't really know how the Ajax would work. And due to this, I would say, I can't really give you an opinion on him, right? But if he works that way, if he just increases the chance when you get a Lord, the chance of the Lord being Ajax being higher, would recommend putting Ajax in there, as chances of you getting a Lord are pretty low always, and you really want to make use of that 15x. That is it already from my side. I think I covered all the important ones. I wish you all a blessed day, happy summons, and a good weekend. I'm Ronaldo, and I'm out. Peace!